Hard up, homeless and alone, what's next for Sarah Ferguson? Welcome back, royal watchers, to Crown Chronicles, your #1 destination for royal revelations, scandals, and untold truths from behind palace gates. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because today's story is one you won't want to miss. It's the heartbreaking, yet astonishingly resilient, tale of Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York. Once a beloved member of the British royal family, she now stands on the edge of uncertainty. Struggling with finances, fighting for her home, and facing a future that's more unstable than ever. So how did the woman once known as Fergie the Fun Duchess, adored by millions, end up hard up, nearly homeless, and painfully alone? Let's rewind to the fairy tale beginning that captured Britain's heart. When Sarah Ferguson married Prince Andrew in 1986, the world fell in love with her fiery personality and down-to-earth charm. She was everything a royal bride wasn't supposed to be: loud, cheeky, unpolished, but completely genuine. Her laughter lit up royal events, her warmth endeared her to the public, and even the Queen was said to have taken a soft spot for her early on. But the fairy tale was short-lived. The pressures of royal life, endless scrutiny, rigid rules, and relentless press intrusion, quickly took their toll. Andrew was often away at sea with the Royal Navy, and Sarah was left to navigate royal expectations alone. By the early 90s, cracks were visible in their marriage. And then came that scandal, the infamous toe-sucking photos of Fergie and American businessman John Bryan that shocked Buckingham Palace and humiliated the monarchy. Almost overnight, Sarah Ferguson went from being a royal favorite to a tabloid punchline. The Queen's courtiers turned their backs, her invitations to royal gatherings dried up, and she was branded as a national embarrassment. The Duchess was out, but the royal bills weren't. After her 1996 divorce from Prince Andrew, Sarah was left to fend for herself financially, while Andrew continued living in royal properties under the Queen's care. Fergie's post-divorce life was a roller coaster of money woes, public ridicule, and desperate reinvention. She tried writing children's books, launching lifestyle brands, giving motivational talks, even working with Weight Watchers. For a time, she seemed to bounce back, her trademark optimism intact, but behind the cheerful exterior, financial trouble was never far away. There were bankruptcies, failed business ventures, and debts running into the millions. At one point, she reportedly owed as much as £5 million. She narrowly avoided financial ruin in 2010 when she was caught in an undercover sting, filmed offering access to Prince Andrew in exchange for £500,000. The footage went public. And once again, the world watched as Fergie fell from grace, yet somehow, she survived. Every single time, through it all, she remained remarkably close to Prince Andrew. They continued living together at the Royal Lodge in Windsor Great Park, the very home that's now at the center of yet another royal storm. Despite being divorced for nearly 3 decades, their unusual relationship baffled the public. They shared holidays, raised their daughters, and even referred to each other as best friends. Sarah once famously said, "We're the happiest divorced couple in the world." But now, that fragile happiness seems to be crumbling, with Prince Andrew's royal downfall after the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. The walls of security and privilege that once protected Fergie are disappearing fast. King Charles III, determined to slim down the monarchy and cut costs, has made it clear that Andrew's time as a senior royal is over. Without royal funding or official duties, Andrew's financial situation has tightened drastically, and that's hit Sarah Ferguson directly. Recent reports suggest that Andrew has been under increasing pressure to vacate Royal Lodge, the sprawling 30-room mansion where he and Sarah have lived for over 20 years. Charles allegedly wants him to downsize to Frogmore Cottage, the much smaller residence once occupied by Harry and Meghan before they left for California. But Andrew has refused to budge, claiming that he spent millions maintaining the property and has a long-term lease. As for Fergie, her situation is even more precarious. She's not legally a tenant, has no official royal role, and her name isn't on any deeds. In royal terms, that means she's effectively a guest, one phone call away from being homeless. To make matters worse, her financial struggles have resurfaced yet again. Reports claim that Fergie's various projects, including her YouTube series and publishing deals, have failed to bring in enough income to sustain her lifestyle. Though she's been resilient, even fighting through 2 separate cancer diagnoses in recent years, her safety net is shrinking fast. Friends have described her as anxious and uncertain, worried that the monarchy she once called family may soon turn its back for good. The Queen's death in 2022 left her without her greatest protector. It's said that the late monarch had a soft spot for her former daughter-in-law, often inviting her to Balmoral and ensuring she remained connected to the family circle. But with King Charles now in charge, and with his cost-cutting approach to the monarchy, Fergie's place in the royal world feels more fragile than ever. Yet, in true Sarah Ferguson fashion, she refuses to be defeated. In interviews, she's remained defiantly optimistic. "I'm grateful," she said recently. "I've been through the storm and I'm still standing." She's also continued to support her daughters, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, who remain deeply close to her. Both women reportedly worry about their mother's future, knowing that her fate is intertwined with their disgraced father's. Still, many royal watchers can't help but ask the question, how long can Sarah keep fighting? At 66, with dwindling finances, no royal income, and mounting medical challenges, she faces perhaps the toughest chapter of her life. But those who know her best insist that she has an uncanny ability to rise from the ashes, just when everyone expects her to fall. Some even speculate that a new chapter might be waiting, a tell-all memoir, a Netflix documentary, or another reinvention of the Duchess who refuses to disappear. Fergie, after all, has something that many royals lack, a relatable humanity. She's made mistakes, she's been mocked, but she's also been real, and maybe, just maybe, that's what makes her story worth telling, because behind every royal scandal lies a person, and behind every fall from grace lies the chance for redemption. Sarah Ferguson's life has been a carousel of triumph and tragedy, laughter and loss, but one thing's certain, she's not finished yet. So what's next for Sarah Ferguson? Will she find her footing once more, or will this be the final curtain call on a royal life lived at full speed? As always, time, and the crown, will decide. Thank you for joining us on Crown Chronicles, your royal home for truth, intrigue, and everything the palace won't say out loud. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below with your thoughts. Crown, because in the world of royalty, the real story always hides behind the crown.